Hello, it's Rich here, and welcome to day 24 of 28 Days to Hypnosis Success. This is like some kind of symphony. We are building up to a massive crescendo. There's going to be a fantastic end to this that I think you're going to really, really enjoy. And today is kind of like a smooth. It's kind of like one of those little pieces of music there, and kind of like it's building up towards something really cool that you're just going to get back into. Now, today is all about how to create online products. Now, before I tell you why you're going to need to do this, I've got a couple of things I've got to say up front. One, we're not really especially going to be going into the marketing of these today because that is a massive, massive area, i.e. how to make money from these. That is a massive area, and that is something that you and I are going to be studying with the likes of the Passive Hypnosis Profit System and other internet marketing course materials. Okay, so that's the first thing. I will talk a little bit about that, but to be honest, from my point of view, I find it very easy to come up with ideas for products and to create the products. The marketing is a whole different sort of field, so I will give you a few ideas, but that's not the aim of today. Secondly, actually generating ideas is not really the aim of what we're going to be doing today. I will give you a few pointers in that direction, but let me just say, you already know about niche marketing, okay? We've already covered niche marketing. Niche marketing applies exactly to these products. So you go through the empathy map, the research on Amazon, all those kind of things before you get to this point. Today is about how you could produce videos, how you could produce audios, how you could produce books that you can offer to your clients, or you could sell, or you could offer as an incentive for people to sign up to an Aweber type of email list. So kind of you have the autoresponders, you go onto a website, somebody says, put in your email, I'm going to give you something for free. And thus you begin the approach of building a relationship with somebody. Frank Kern, one of the best known internet marketers in the world, says that almost nobody buys first time. You must build up that relationship with emails. So collecting emails is going to be an important part of a strategy. So if you have a product, first of all, it's something that you can offer as an incentive for somebody to leave their email address on your website. Secondly, you can use it as a press release because you can say, Hypnotist has produced a recording to prepare people to quit smoking, or Hypnotist has a special report, 10 proven strategies to stop smoking easily and quickly, and you can get a copy of this now at this website. Just pop there, leave your email, and he'll give it to you, okay? Or she'll give it to you. And of course, if you have that set up on your website, now you have an email list from somebody who's motivated, you've already given them value, and of course, you've got the principle of reciprocity at work there, okay? So when you start giving to people, it's like almost like a karmic kind of thing. You give freely and with care and with the best intention, and that will start to build up a relationship with that person. But there's other reasons to create products. It's it's not just wonderfully creative, and wonderfully enjoyable, but this is something that, I'm going to show it to you to do, or how to do it here. You'll be surprised at how quick and easy it is. The only kind of slightly technical thing will be recording the audios. So I'm going to give a little bit more focus on how to record audios, because I figure as a coach, as a therapist, as a hypnotist, as a hypnotherapist, you want to be able to have recordings. You want to be able to have those there. So I'm going to show you how you can produce those. Now, I'm no audio engineer. However, I have spoken to people who have that experience over the years, and I've got kind of tips and advice as I go. There are lots of different ways to do this. If you had a massive budget, you can go, and really the sky's the limit, and you can hire out a recording studio. Like when Paul McKenna's CDs that come with those books, he does one book and then just changes. He goes through and just I think he just has words, and he goes through, change confidence, all words of confidence to stress, and then he just issues the same book because it's the same NLP techniques, it's the same couple of hypnosis techniques and a little recording there with a couple of little things in it. And good luck to him. He's built up his brand. He's done a fantastic job doing that. Now, but those CDs that will be recorded, very scripted, recorded in a studio, we're not going to be quite of that quality. We're going to be 70, 80%, maybe a little bit more of the way there, okay? It's going to be good enough, okay? Now, there's a difference between remember, with rapid instant change hypnosis, we want outstanding customer service end-to-end in our marketing, in the way we approach it, in the way we understand the needs of our market, so we can serve that market and we can prepare to really deliver, really over-deliver in our session. But in terms of the audio MP3s, it's got a job to do, it's got a functional job to do. And if you can record it in the right way, in the way I'm going to show you, it will require zero effort because you're actually going to record it live when you've got your clients there. You're even going to be able to create that in such a way that you can actually use that and give it to the client as a special gift from the session. So they've got a live recording of it. It's an added feature, of course, because you have tailored the session to them with the pre-session questionnaire. Not only do they have the session, but every other day for 28 days and beyond, they can listen to that recording to reinforce all the positive benefits of change. Clients absolutely love this. You'll be able to get them out. So you get that out to them the same day. And the way I'm going to show you, the way that you've recorded it, it means that you now have a product. So it's really cool because you're there anyway in your session, and that particular session with that client on claustrophobia, your performance, your delivery may just be so exceptional. Why wouldn't you want to capture it? I mean, you're there, you've got it. It's good enough for that client. It's good enough for other people around the world. So, do you see what I'm saying? So now you've captured that. And if you know how to do that really easily, so that it doesn't interfere with the flow of other things, and if you set it up correctly, the client will love it, will expect it, will just take it in their stride, and you have a product. It's not going to take any extra time or effort on your part. The only thing I'm going to suggest is that you get a pair of these. These are Microsoft Live Chat. I think they're called Microsoft Live Chat 3000 headphones. They're currently £22.99 on Amazon, £22.99. Let's go £23, but I guess it's going to be about the same, probably $23 as well on Amazon. There are other things you can use, but these are absolutely good enough. They're USB. You plug them into your laptop. You have your laptop on the side during the session. Just make sure you can do this with your mobile phone. There are other things you can do there as well. Things called lavalier lapel mics. There are some really good products in both the Google Play Store and also in the Apple Store that will allow you to record CD quality, high bitrate recordings. But if you've got your phone there, you have to try and remember to make sure that it doesn't accept calls, that it's not buzzing, it's not tinging, and so I just find it easier. I'm going to show you the way I do it on the computer. There are some advantages to that, but honestly you can do it either way. And once you get in this mindset, my reason for doing today is this. Look, you are a professional in your area. You are at whatever stage you are. So you're either very established or you're early on, and it doesn't matter. You need to have a sort of a thinking head on you, which is this. If you're going to be very successful long term, i.e. being able to run a business from it, which means you get enough money and that you can live on, you don't just want to rely on clients. You want to have products. You want to do probably maybe 2 to 5 sort of little kind of workshops each year, and maybe a few little evening events. Now you can build up to those. And if you remember the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp, there's excellent materials on doing group hypnotherapy sessions. When I finished producing this, because obviously I'm in the process of product creation here, I'm not marketing. We've talked about this before. I'm creating a product now as I speak with you. Later on, I'm going to go and study those as well, because that's something I want to do. Another one of my colleagues does something called Hypnotic Journeys. These are all excellent ways in which you can start to build relationships with people, because now you can do it with Facebook Live and other things as well. You can offer online courses like this to a closed group of people. I know some people, my friend Chris, who does that, and he's doing very well from that. You can do evening classes. You could do other kind of events. And that is wonderful, because that starts building a relationship with people, and you'll find that statistically probably about 8 or 9% of the people for any live event you do will be interested in doing something else with you. There'll always be like a core group of people, sort of something like around about 8%, who absolutely love you and want to stick with you and want to do other things, so you can keep producing products and services. But you must produce products, because there's nothing, remember what we're trying to do. We're not trying. We're going to be on that, aren't we? We're not trying. There is no try. There's just do as them. What we're doing is we are creating the correct perception of ourselves as credible authority figures. We must have credibility. We must have authority. And if you're going to establish yourself there so people perceive you as an authority, there's nothing like having a how-to book. There's nothing like having some recordings on your website. There's nothing like having a little video that people can watch. It really is straightforward. You can do all of those things for free using tools that are readily available. So I'm going to run through those today. If you can use Microsoft Word, then you can get a book done. If you can literally open up a program on a computer and click play, you can, or click record, and you know when to stop. you can record an audio. And with video, if you can use Facebook, honestly, you can do video products. It is that easy. As long as you've got, which you will do, presumably some device which allows you to both watch and capture audio, as long as you've got a built-in, or you can buy it, a USB one for your laptop, although most laptops now will come with a built-in webcam on, you are good to go for product creation. Do you know, I'm a bit disappointed. The only thing, I absolutely love doing this, I'm loving being with you here today, but I'm sacrificing something, and I want to acknowledge you because you're sacrificing something being here. All the things in the world you could be doing is spending time with me, so I'm going to make sure I really deliver value for you today. Frank Kern's doing his new course, and what he's doing is he decided, it was funny, I found this out about day 21 of this course. He said, you know what, I've just realized that one of the best things you can do if you want to produce a course is book a day, go to your whole list, tell everyone you're doing it, just say I'm going to do it, be in your house or in your office or whatever, get your laptop there, start it, run a day, record the whole thing. I think he uses something called Encore, but anyway, it doesn't matter, but record the whole thing. And at the end, so people can attend that for free, and then afterwards you've got a product. And I thought, well, that's exactly what I'm doing here each day. And that is a really cool thing to do. Now, it does stretch you a bit. I mean, each lesson here, plus the time doing it, is at least 5 hours a day. So that gives you an idea of the 28 days times 5. There are some people there who are much better than maths than me. But let's just say I'm going to go for, is that 140? I think it's 140 hours. So that is a lot of hours, maybe 120, 130 flip charts, something like that. So that is a massive order, but you could do it in a day, you could do it in smaller segments. Irrespective of which way you want to go, video is easy and fun to do. You can produce it. There is simply no cost, a little bit of time and effort. And in fact, if you're just going to do like a 10-minute session or like a 15-minute how-to video, you can do that as well. You can record it on Facebook Live. You can then upload it to YouTube. So let me just give you an overview of where we're going to go today, because you're going to really enjoy this. As I say, this is fun. One of the things that I've seen with colleagues all around the world is somehow some people don't think that they're creative. Somehow, some people think that product creation is really difficult. And I've always found this fun and enjoyable. Sure, I've had a lot, the marketing is more, I've found that more challenging. And so that's where I'm going to focus my efforts now. But I want you, a good analogy is this. We all go through and we do our trainings. So we do our hypnosis trainings, our coaching trainings, and we get those skills. Once we've got those skills, then we've got to do our marketing to tell the world about it. But you do need those foundational skills. You must know how to work with clients. Assess the suitability for therapy, get them to that particular point. Know how to change. Know how to work with them. Know how to work different states. Have different interventions. All the kind of the good stuff. Know how to deal with ab reactions. All that kind of stuff. So you get that training, but then unless you have some marketing, you don't know what to do with it. So today is not about the marketing. That's something we will continue studying and doing together as colleagues and supporting each other. But I want you to have the equivalent of all that expertise and training, so you absolutely know that you can go out and do these things now. It really is straightforward. There's a little bit of time and prep involved, and I'll give you some tips and some hints about that. For instance, already with the audios, once you know how to set up and record them, and you record them in your client sessions, then you're more motivated to deliver the performance of your life because it's going to be recorded afterwards. B, the client loves it because they've got something to take away, and you can say to them, look, I'm not here to, you're paying, the reason you're paying for me this much for one session is, we can achieve it all here, and to reinforce it and deepen it and just make sure that it permeates to all areas of your life, you're going to have that recording. And each time you listen to that recording, it's going to be more powerful even than the time when you were here. So, piggyback some more suggestions onto it, and you've got something for them. But of course, because it's a recording, it doesn't mention their name, doesn't mention anything about their personal history, and you've got, a You Can Overcome Claustrophobia recording, well, now you've got a unique product that you can either you give away as an incentive to people to leave your email, or you can sell online, or you could use for a press release. And say, there's a massive, X number of 1,000 people suffering from claustrophobia in the UK. Richard specialises in this. To contact him now for a free cutting-edge hypnosis recording using complete mind therapy. Please call him on the first 20 people to call by the end of November can have this recording. How cool is that? So there are lots of ways that you can use these. They're a wonderful marketing tool. They really, really don't require any sort of major technical expertise. I will give you some ideas on the creativity side of things, but I think what I'm going to do is either as a bonus to this, or if we've got time before the end, or as a bonus in the members area, we'll have a whole session on how to come up with ideas for your books and your special reports, how to write them quickly and easily, how to get them done there and then, and how to get those out, and even how to write longer books. So I've done books of 40,000, I've done sort of PDF books of 30,000, 40,000 words that I've sold. I've done special reports of maybe 20 pages, and I've done Fearless Fasting, I think is 70,000 words. So that's like a proper book, which I'm still searching for a publisher for, but for the time we've got that on Amazon. So we'll see how that one goes. Okay, so overview of today. We want outstanding customer service, that's for sure, but our products need to be good enough. That means you need to focus on the content there, and we will make them as good as we possibly can do. Honestly, as I'm standing here today, if I had all the professional stuff in the world, we could have a green screen here. You know, I mean, it would be a good idea. We've just moved into this place. We could, you know, I could have all my fancy schmancy wall of certificates over there. If I combine the ones that Alex has with all the other ones, NLP and Ericksonian hypnosis and everything, we'd need 2 or 3 walls, yeah. And you know, you can have like professional kind of lighting and stuff come in. It needs to be good enough. Focus on outstanding content rather than making it, you know, I mean, it's nice to make things look pretty, and I'll show you some tools and tips and techniques to do that at very, very low cost. But focus on outstanding content. What do we mean by outstanding content? Things that you've learned from your experience that have been useful, that would be useful to somebody else, that solve a problem, that are expressed in your own particular way. What I've found is there's very little, I think, in hypnosis and marketing that's actually new. And by that, I mean, at least at the level of the high level thing of sort of strategy and principle, it's more a question of the way it's packaged. And by that, I mean, it'll have a fancy schmancy, maybe 3 sort of digit sort of acronym. It'll be ATF or something like that. But it's more the sequence. It's the specific sequence that things are put in, and the emphasis on those things in that sequence that makes it unique. And underlying all that, it's the person who does it and the niche to which they're taking that sequence of tools and tips and techniques into, and the way that they deliver it. That's what really makes it special. And you have that. You have a lifetime of experience. So I don't want you ever to sell yourself short on this. You are somebody who has a lifetime of experience. And honestly, there is only one of you. And the advice that you've got on relationships, on how to get over, you know, difficulties and interpersonal conflict, and how things that you overcome emotionally in your life, the experience that you've got, whether you might have worked in administration or whether you're a road sweeper, you know, maybe I'll tell you that job one day. For about a week, I was a road sweeper. That was many, many years ago. That kind of was a little bit of a low point, but it did motivate me to take the next step, let me tell you. So that's quite a cool story, but we'll leave that for another time. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter, you've been through life, you've had loads of interesting experiences, you've had loads of unique experiences. Those experiences and wisdom would be of use to other people, to some other people. It's a question of valuing that, learning how to package that and do that. Now, although we're not going to specifically focus on that today, I'm going to focus on how, once you have decided that, once you've decided your niches, this is how you can package it, okay? And then we'll mention a few of the marketing tools and places you can go. But honestly, at the moment, when I finish this course, I finish this week, and then I'm going to be spending a couple of days with Alex Smith and Stu Cassells, and I think maybe Steve Miller and Wayne and some other really cool people will be there. We're going to share tips, tools, strategies up in Greater Manchester. I'm really looking forward to learning more, and I'm just immersing myself in the marketing and what I can do, the kind of things I want to do, like presenting, get in front of people, building up, building up your business, which is what we're all in the business of doing. So your products need to be good enough. We're going to focus on that today. We're not going to focus on perfection. We're going to focus on making sure they are good enough. And the real important part there is the content in there. It is your personal content, it is your experience. Why do we want products? Well, remember, we're all about creating perception. Life is all about perception. Perception is really what hypnosis is, and all marketing is perception. So we want to produce products and experts. You know, once you have the book, it could be a PDF book, and we'll talk about how to do that. Once you have the book, well, now you are, you're an expert in that field. I mean, and you could do it for so many things. Honestly, the sky really is the limit. So you could produce a book. Another reason that you want to do this, as we've talked about, is income. Okay, so you really want to be having multiple streams of income, and if you can record and package each recording that you do with each client, you know, then you have a whole bunch of recordings that you can do. And let's say you're seeing 10 different smoking clients. Well, one can be the preparing to quit smoking session. One can be the session for people who need to smokers who struggle with relaxation. Another one of the recordings you do for the clients can emphasize how to overcome cravings on the spot. So now you've got 10 smoking recordings, but they're all slightly different aspects of the things that each smoker needs. So you can either buy one of them for $10 each, or you can get all of them for $59.99, and now you've got 10 recordings. And those recordings you recorded in the session, you know exactly that they are relevant to people in that market because you've incorporated the hot words that clients have given you, like stressed, anxious, tension, or oh, it's like my friends, or like oh, I need one for relief, or it's always really difficult having one after a coffee. So there you've got recording. How to stop smoking, even if it's the coolest thing in the world that you do after you've had a coffee. How to stop craving cigarettes after you've had a coffee or a meal. Now you've got another recording. In fact, you could do a whole suite of recordings around that. But do you see how it doesn't matter even if you're only seeing people stopping smoking? Now there'll be little nuances there. So one recording can be for this, one recording can be for that, and on and on and on and on it goes. It is fantastic. So it is infinite, the number of things you can do even for one area, and it's fun and easy to do. So income. Your income can come from MP4 videos, which you can do via Facebook Live, and then you can host on YouTube. Now, Alex is a fan of this. I know a lot of other people do that. There's no cost to this. It's a wonderful way to do it. You can record audio MP3s. We're going to focus on an open source free bit of software called Audacity, which I've been using now for, I guess, at least about 10 years, maybe a bit more. So I'll tell you about this. It remains relatively unchanged, at least the interface of it in all that time. It's cool. It's free to download. We'll tell you about that later. And like anything else you download, you're just going to be a little bit careful. Make sure you have, because there's a few different sites now I've noticed that purporting to host this. So you want to make sure that it's usually trial forged that I used to get this from. But I'll just tell you about that later. You've got to be sensible downloading anything. Make sure you've got antivirus, just like you would do anything you get it from the internet. You know that. And then there's Fiverr, Fiverr. When you're producing your book, certainly when you're producing special reports and books, you want to have a really nice cover that goes there. There are wonderful people there who will do that for you for $10 or under. Okay, so as you're producing your product, I think today I put on Facebook, I put a couple of examples just in one of the special reports I had. It's nothing fancy, but it looks really nice. And a wonderful lady called Ange did that for me. So I may put at the end of the manual some of the people who I currently use on Fiverr who have produced outstanding service and value. It doesn't mean that they're always going to carry on doing that. It doesn't mean they'll be right for you. But if you want to produce logos, book covers, or if you want somebody to design your website and implement that, I've got 3 people there who are just fantastic. I mean, they're just such a delight to deal with, and I mean, they work so blooming hard, and they are so talented. I genuinely, if they were charging $50, I wouldn't bat an eyelid. So I do always make sure I tip them. But I'll show you where to go. And if you're starting off and you are, money is a challenge, it's an issue, you don't have unlimited kind of budget to go with, then Fiverr.com is absolutely brilliant. People will transcribe things for you there. They will do all sorts of stuff. It's just absolute. I get so excited going there because I think very soon I'm going to do some whiteboards there. And I may do a little whiteboard of just summarizing 28 days to hypnosis success, because I can script that. That's a bit more. That's going to be like $70-80 to do, but it may well be worth it. Anyway, look, we have got audio recordings, which we can do full courses. Like you could do like a 10-week sort of audio course. So Steve Miller at the moment, I have only had a chance to dip into it briefly because I've been doing these. But I really loved the way he's done his Monetize Your Talent course, because you have like a 17-minute audio, a 6-page PDF, and that's week 1. Cool, fantastic. I mean, honestly, and of course, you're going to have the same kind of front cover on and just change the title each week and have your disclaimer kind of stuff on that. But how long is it going to take you to put that together? Okay, because now, of course, these days, you type something in Word, and Word, certainly since 2007 and above, I believe, has save to PDF capability, so you don't even need a separate bit of software. Most of us have access to Word or something similar. You can save as PDF, bam, you've got your special report or book. It is fantastic. Now, obviously, you want to make sure your content is good, and you'll know that because it will be the kind of things, you'll know your content is good if it solves a problem that your niche audience has. If it's the sort of thing where you talk to people or you work with them, and afterwards they'll go, oh, that's great, that's really helped. That's the sort, that's a clue that that's the kind of information you can provide. So, and it allows you to add extra value to your clients. This is another reason. We've talked about perception, we've talked about getting extra income in. They're really cool reasons. But honestly, we're all about adding value for our clients. So you're always thinking, what else can I do for them? And when you have your client consultation, if you say, if somebody phones up and you say, look, let me call you later, we've got a free consultation. Now when you speak to them, you say, look, and you go through your consultation because you know how to do that, right? You know how to structure a consultation. And as you're kind of like setting the future memories of how things are going to go, when you come to see me, I'm going to give you a suggestion that you're going to give yourself a suggestion that something's going to happen in your body, and you're just going to see it happen right in front of you without any effort at all. You're just going to see your body unconsciously respond. The moment you think that thought, it's going to happen unconsciously, and it's going to absolutely blow your mind. And then you're going to do it again, and then it's going to become even more powerful. And then as these things continue to happen, you're going to find that you just eventually go into this wonderful, deep trance. It's really fantastic. It's really relaxing. Now, the thing is, when you come to see me, I will be sent, you'll complete a pre-session questionnaire in advance. You'll send that to me at least a week in advance so that I can tailor your session, because everything is tailored in there for you, which means that it's going to be much, much more effective than, the sort of traditional therapeutic approaches, because it is a whole mind, it's a complete mind approach that will be tailored for you. And I actually record that session for you. So when we do the hypnosis session, I record that for you, and I will send that out to you the same day. I'll text that out. I will send you a link to that so you can download it to your phone, and you can start listening to that the day after, every other day for 28 days. So you only need to come and see me once, because you'll have that hypnosis session recorded, so that when you leave, you've got that there, and it will be like having me there. In fact, it will be even more powerful, because you'll be so used to going into trance at this point that this will reinforce every single thing that we've done here. It will reinforce this across all areas of your life, every single day for 28 days, to really seal in all these changes permanently. So you can imagine, of course, when you're saying that to the client on the consultation, this seems really cool. I mean, you're the person who's saying, I had somebody recently who came to see me. Now, she was, I don't know if she was a nurse or, anyway, she was quite senior. She worked in the NHS here, so the health service in the UK. And there was a hypnotist, and I don't think I know who it is, who actually works in hospital. I think he sort of has his practice there, and he was offering virtual gastric bands, and she was like, oh, you need 8, 9, 10 sessions. And I said, you come to see me and you see me once, and when you go, you've got this recording. And she was like, this is amazing. She's like, I can't believe that there's all this stuff. I've struggled with weight loss for years, just to know that this is something that's possible. Of course, in my mind, she's saying this, I'm realizing, right, that's fantastic. You really are. You get this. You're in the right space. Placebo effect triggered. You're going to absolutely have a fantastic time here. So that's what's going on in my mind. And she's saying, and I said, look, you're going to come, and as you listen to this recording, you'll have your session, and you'll have your recording to take away, and you can listen to that every single day. And imagine what that's going to do for you right across all areas of your life. And she said, wow, you know what? I had booked a session to go with that other guy, but he was saying that he was going to see me for 8 sessions. And honestly, if I combined, she'd already done the maths, and then she said, okay, you're charging, £300 for one session, but honestly, he's charging 8, so it would be more than that. And you're actually giving me a unique recording, and you're tailoring the session for me, and you're using this whole holistic suite of things so you can do it in one session. You know what? I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna book it now. I'm just gonna tell that other guy that Now, I don't get that all the time, because others probably I've got no desire. It was just use that for illustrative purposes. That this is a really cool way to add extra value, set yourselves apart. I'm not in the business of trying to take other people's business away, because honestly, there's nearly 8 billion people, but honestly, by the time you watch this, there will be 8 billion people in the world, more than likely, or we are rapidly heading that way. And the thing is, there are just, all of us have our unique skills and experience. Genuinely, you have a whole bunch of things that you could, I'm no doubt at all, be able to teach me, and you can share with other people that are unique to you. And you need to, once you realize that, and once you value that, and once you honor that, then getting the recordings out is just an absolute joy. Okay, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of today in terms of how you can do this. Okay, because I think we can see that there are a lot of cool reasons to be able to do this. So, books and videos, actually quite similar processes, at least to get going with them. I want to tell you this. I mean, as I'm going through this now, you're going to realize, is it that simple? Is it really that easy? And the answer is yes, it is. All those, those books that you buy and you have on your shelves that look amazing, that you really love, people sit there and have a cup of coffee and they go down to Costa or Starbucks, or they sit there with the radio on or listen to some music and they type it on their laptop. Now, they will typically do, I mean, it's very good to, from my point of view, I wouldn't just sit down and write. I will use things like this. I will use flip charts. I have some other tools and techniques that I use to be able to do things. So let me just give you a quick idea. So see all these things here? Yep. When I was structuring the course and all the different things that we were going to be doing, I wrote them down. I just chuck them down. I chop up bits of paper. I write down all the ideas and things that I have, and this is exactly how I do books. Now, so I'm just going to give you I'll give you a little bit extra today than I was going to. Okay, I write these things down. What have I written on here? This one says how to record audios. Oh, well, there we go. That was interesting. So that's ended up on here. What else? What have we got on this one here? Lecture demos. How to present. I wrote down, I just brainstorm any idea, goes down on here, and then afterwards you can arrange them. What's that one got? The influence principles. What we did, we tagged them onto something else. What else have we got here? Checklists that bring wealth. Well, I think we are going to have a whole session on that, because if you don't have checklists, then you run the risk of not delivering excellent service. Because you might wake up one day, feel a bit crummy, a gazillion things are happening around you, and somebody turns up and your mind's all scrambled. If you go through the proper mental rituals, you have something written down, you can go through, check it, you will. Okay, and that's, if it's good enough for airplane pilots to go, with years of experience to do, it is good enough for us. And remember that guy who managed to successfully land on the Hudson Bay? I mean, he taught people constantly how to. He was actually one of the guys who trained people, I think, how to do that and how to land safely. And so it's firmly etched in mind. And then the time when you need to pull it out of the bag, all right, you've got it there at your fingertips. What have we got here? Hypno history magic. Okay, literally. How long did this take? Maybe I probably took to plan. Once I realized that we were going to be producing this course, I probably maybe spent 10 minutes getting this together, because I had all the ideas were there in my head. And you don't just, if you try to suddenly just write something without a structure, then you're going to be struggling. You're going to need chapter headings. If you're going to write a book or a special report, you bung your ideas down, one idea on each piece of paper, and then afterwards you just lay them out on the floor. Now, I believe this may be akin to the Disney strategy. I'm not sure exactly how Disney used to do it to come up with this sort of stuff. Oh, look, how to conduct the perfect session. And then what I do is I would just arrange them. If it was like 10 tips, I would put 10 there. I would have the 10 big areas at the top, and then the other things would be sort of sub-parts of that. Or what I would do is, if I'm writing a book and I want maybe 12 or 14 chapters, then I do the same thing. I'll pick out the 10 to 14 ones of these that would end up being the chapter headings, and then the other information that would be the sub-chapters within that will go there. And that is how I write my books. I use these little babies, but we'll do that separately another time. Frank Kern, I've seen recently, does a very similar thing, except he'll do it on a piece of paper, and he uses 4 quadrants. I think you've got the problem over here and the solution over here, and then there's 4 kind of like aspects, the four kind of like main kind of sub-problems there that people have, and then you can start adding in your solutions underneath that. It's another cool way to do that. So Frank and I are on the same page, which I really like, by the way. Okay, so books and videos you're going to record on your laptop, okay? Or you'll write the books on your laptop, you'll record the videos on your laptop. So books, okay, both of these books and videos, we start off with an idea. And that will be a niche idea. It'll be something that's going to add value, something of interest to your audience. You'll come up with some kind of plan. You'll come up with some kind of sequence of how you're going to deliver that, and then you're going to prepare. Okay. Now, in your preparation, it's a good idea to tell people. I mean, if you're going to be doing Facebook Live, go and let people know what time you're going to be live, and then go and tell them again, okay? Because actually, what's really cool is you can sort of combine a bit of product creation, a bit of marketing at the same time. So whilst I'm producing these, I wanted to do them on Facebook Live, so I can share them with other people and share them with other colleagues. But in a way, it is a little bit of marketing as well, because you're getting phone and you're sharing stuff, and people find out what you're about each day, and you're producing your product as well. So it's a really cool thing to do. When I talk about the video strategy, kudos, and I'm going to give acknowledgement to Alex Smith for that, because it's something he told me how to do, which is really cool and easy, and I think you'll like this. But let's have a quick look at how easy it is to produce a book, okay? You come up with your idea. So let's say you work with smoking, so it's 10 tips to stopping smoking. Let's say it's going to be a special report. So it's going to be between 8 and 20 pages. And this is something you're going to have on your website that people can download if they leave their email on there. And you're also going to do a press release around it. So you've got a cool bit of marketing for the next couple of weeks. At some point we'll go through and we'll do a session on, probably as a bonus, on what I call rapid instant product creation. But that's where you go through and you come up with a plan. You use your cards. You will literally come up with those ideas really quickly. Honestly, write your ideas down. Get some bits of paper. Rip them up. These are handmade. Write your ideas down. What's every problem that somebody comes to you with regarding your particular area? So stopping smoking. Well, it could be cravings. Could be what to do after a meal. It could be their partner smokes. Could be, what about, they're part of the smokers club and they love being there and being like the rebel on the outside who can stand outside a pub in the street and, by golly, make everyone else stink with their stinky smoke as you walk past. It doesn't matter. Whatever the thing is, that. So you'll start brainstorming those. You'll get those things down. What I would do is, to make it feel more real to you, to increase the perception in yourself of your confidence as an expert, I would pay I would go onto Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, and I would pay somebody $10, find somebody there who has got 5 stars, who does book covers or special report covers. Book covers, they'll be able to do the same thing. Tell them your title, 10 tips to stop smoking by, Jane Austen, whatever your name is. And if you've got a logo, or make sure they can put maybe your website address or something on there as well, and whatever you want to include on the front cover. So get them to do that. Pay the $10, leave that with them. People will take typically between 1 and 3 days. It depends on the person who's there to produce that for you. They may ask you to choose a photo. They'll ask for a couple of bits of information. Make sure you give that information very clearly to them up front. Okay. If they say, I need to know, what colours you want on there, or what, they may ask some questions. Make sure you answer those questions, because otherwise you will it'll slow things down for you. Okay, so I would do that up front. I would pay for that, because it's going to look a lot better when you have your thing there. You see, when you have a special report that says 12 amazing tips to losing weight, and you've got a really cool, nicely professionally designed cover on it, that you can pop on there. It'll be like a sort of JPEG or PNG image. You can then have that on your website as well. So it'll say, sign up now and get this free special report. And now you've got the image there next to it. It just, we know the power of images. If you have a blog and you don't have a blog post and you don't put an image with it, you're doing yourself a disservice. It is the image that is more hypnotic, mesmerizing, that pulls people in. So I would commission that. So you've come up with your idea, you've decided what you're going to do, 10 tips, 12 tips. That's a really simple and easy way to get going. Then you're going to type it up. Now, you've done it. You've already got your 10 tips on it. I mean, how long does it, 10 tips to wait to overcoming stress? I might put it on after here. So one of the other, I used to do loads of stuff for press releases. And honestly, I don't know what else. I think I mentioned before, I had one that like my 6th or 7th one or whatever didn't go in, and I sort of lost a little bit of momentum. And what I should have done was just carried on, because you know what? I came back, I did I was going up to do a half marathon, and on the way up I thought, I'm going to email the local paper and say, I'm just on my way to a half marathon, but I've got this new recording on overcoming stress, and I've actually got 10 tips to overcoming stress that I think your guys will, your readers will really love. Well, I'd just done the half marathon. They phoned up, and I was in Coventry at the time with a friend of mine, and I think we were down the pub, and they said, "Oh, we'd like to publish this. Can you send the 10 tips over?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, great. Can I get them over to you on Monday?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, fine." So as I was going back, I typed them up because I hadn't done them. So I typed them up, put out a photo of them. I got my mate to take a photo of me just having done the half marathon, and boom. And we had a really nice, maybe 2/3 of a page on that. I mean, honestly, how easy is that to do? It doesn't matter what area you're in or field you're in. You could come with 10 tips, go online, type in stress online, go into the forums and see what people do, go on Amazon and see what people put there. You'll come up with 100 tips. Honestly, it's really straightforward and easy to do. So you type it up, you just type it up, you do it as best you can. You write it, I would write quickly. If you're going to write a special report, I would set aside maybe an hour and a half maximum. I would write it without any editing at all, no questioning, just type it up in Word, save it as you do, use Control-S, keep saving it, save the file first before you type anything, okay, because you don't want to do this and your battery goes and you've lost it. I have zero sympathy with people who do not save constantly the work that they do at least once, even if you haven't got a battery. Even, like, if your battery died on your computer, fair enough, you have backed up to the cloud, I can understand that. Although personally, I would have Dropbox on there so that you're connected to whatever you need to do. So you save your file, and you do use Control-S, and every time you do a couple of sentences, you save, or you can set it to auto-save. But please do that as you go, because this is unique. What you're going to be writing there is unique. It's going to be a one-time show. You'll never write or produce anything in that sequence exactly the same again, and it's special and it's valuable. So please don't lose it because you didn't bother to save it. All right, because I have people who honestly at the university here who come in, they've got their PhD, they've spent 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 words on one USB stick, and the USB stick doesn't work, and haven't got it saved anywhere else. I mean, why would you do that to yourself? So please don't do that. Be kind to yourself, be sensible, be smart, back your things up. Okay, so you're going to just simply type it up. Then, of course, you will edit afterwards, because we know that writing and editing, exactly the same as press releases, are different processes. So you'll be editing afterwards. You will save that. So make sure you save it in a couple of different places. And then you've got options about what to do. At this time, very soon, or perhaps the day later, your logo will be back from Fiverr. You will simply drag that and put that on the first page of your document. So now you've got that there. You've got your 10 tips. You've got your document, and of course you can expand that. If you want to do a book, you would simply take a bit longer, and you will break that down. Now, doing a book is a bigger endeavor, but it's the same process. It's just you have to scale it up over a period of time, and the only way really you can do that is by setting a regular time each day when you say you're going to do it. So for instance, with Fearless Fasting, my target each day was to do 2,000 words, and I would quite often do 5,000 because I wanted to aim for about 70,000. So I had to go at some pace to do that. What I like with Frank Kern's strategy, by the way, which I learned this week, is Frank records it all to audio. This had sort of come into my mind before, but for some reason I thought it was difficult because I thought I had to get the, I can't remember what it's called. There's some software, Dragon Naturally Speaking, that's the one. So I've actually got that, but I haven't set it up. And basically what that's supposed to do is you will speak and then it will type up for you. But of course, it doesn't do it that well, and there's lots of mistakes and stuff in it. But his way, which is just blinking obvious really, is you record it. You can record it, with get your mobile phone, put maybe a little app on it, maybe get a little mic. It doesn't really matter. You can do it at your computer. Do it at your computer with some PowerPoint templates. That can be quite cool. When each template, each PowerPoint basically has one of these on it, and then you will record it out loud. Tip number one is, if you know that you're going to be experiencing cravings, make sure you have a cold glass of water with a little bit of ice in, and you'll find that will tend to soothe the throat. And tip number two is to take a little deep breath, and you'll find this can help with a lot of cravings as well. And if you're finding a little bit of difficulty, then you can also do these little sort of tapping things on different parts of you. And tip number four is you can do some maybe a little bit of breathing and relaxation, some very simple autogenic suggestion, and perhaps a little bit of self-hypnosis. Whatever you want to put in there. But the cool thing is that you could record it with exactly the way I'm going to teach you to produce audio products, save it as an MP3. You go on, I can't remember if it's Rev or Reva, the website, but you can look online. There's a transcription website. You can also do it on Fiverr as well, by the way, but I think Rev it is, where somebody there will transcribe it for you. So they will transcribe it for you. So you don't even have to type a single word if you don't want to. Okay, so they will transcribe it for you. You can just imagine that you are giving a presentation and talking to somebody if you want, and somebody else will transcribe it. When it comes back, that transcription will not be formatted very well. So if you then want it formatted properly, you can go on Fiverr and you can find somebody to format it for you. So honestly, you know, and you're talking a few bucks here to do all these things. So if you didn't want to type it, you can do that. And I think next time when I'm going to do a bigger book, I think I may do it that way, only because it really hurts your hand. You know, if you're typing 5,000 words a day, it gets a bit sore, you know. So anyway, hey ho. But type it up, save it. Now you've got a decision to make, okay, with your product. You've got a nice cover on it. Are you going to have it as a PDF on your website, or do you want it to be an Amazon book? Now, if it's going to go on Amazon, I would take a little bit of extra care. I would do with both of these anyway, but make sure that at least it's proof for grammatical mistakes. Make sure your apostrophes are okay. Make sure there's not horrendous typos in that as best as you can in the editing stage. If you need to, get a friend or colleague who is good at that to look over it for you, okay? Ideally, somebody in your target audience to just look through it and say, oh, you know, give some feedback, because that will be valuable for you. And don't ever worry about people saying, oh, I didn't like point number 7, this wasn't clear, that wasn't clear, because that's perfect. That is valuable feedback that means that it's going to be much better. You're going to add much more value to people eventually. PDF is easy because you plonk the cover on that's been done for you on as your page 1. You simply, you know, take the JPEG and you drag it over from your computer onto page 1, and that's it, and you save it. So job done. I would take the time, by the way, to use the Microsoft feature where you can insert a footer, and there's an option to insert a footer that will give you 3 different parts at the bottom. In one of them, you can have, you know, it can say have your website on the left on the bottom. In the middle, it can have the name of, say, of the special report, and then on the third little part of it, it can have the page number, and that looks really cool. And you can ask it to ignore the first page in the settings. What that means is that you won't have the page number 1 on the front cover, because your front cover is just, you know, it's the graphic that's been designed for you. You want it to actually start on the numbering to start on page 1. So there's an option there, a little box you can tick, which says ignore page numbering on page 1 in Microsoft Word. How cool is that? But having the information at the bottom there, like with your website on, and, you know, any other kind of relevant information is quite useful. It'll serve you well. It is good practice as well on page 1 to have a disclaimer. There's lots of sort of templates you can look at online. This is not medical. This is not intended for medical information. This is not intended to diagnose. Put all that kind of stuff in. I know it's a bit, you know, it takes up extra space, but we should cover ourselves. We should be careful. And it's good as well, just in case somebody does read that and for some reason kind of thinks, oh, well, you're a hypnotist, I'm going to use your information. Make it very clear that they need to speak to their registered medical, you know, expert to be able to get the information. This is just for informational purposes. Okay. The other way you can do it is you can upload to Amazon. Now, it's obviously quite cool to say that you are an Amazon author or you have a book on Amazon. Really easy to do. You can go on, if you Google, you know, adding Kindle book to Amazon, you'll find it'll come up there and it will show you there's a specific, I think you can use the same username and password as you use for your regular Amazon account, but it's just a slightly different portal where you can go in and you can upload your book there. It's as simple as that. There's a little bit where you can put a little bit of blurb, a little bit of background about yourself, but it is simple as that. The only thing you need to do is you have to take that Word document, and not the PDF, the actual Word document, and you have to get it converted into the Amazon Kindle format, which is AZW or AZW, depending on where you are in the world. But it needs to be converted into the Kindle format, and this can be a bit problematic because it's quite fussy, that particular process. Now, there is a piece of software online called Kinstant Formatter, Kinstant. So that's Kinstant, so like instant, just with a K in front, and Formatter, Formatter. If you look at that, this is a really cool service that somebody's provided. I think it's still $27 to use it 1,000 times. So basically, you buy like 1,000 uses of this. I mean, I've got 900 and something left on there. But what it will do is it will take your book and it will format it properly. It will correct any errors. It'll add everything in there, and so it's exactly ready for Amazon. So when you upload it to Amazon, it's there. It will display well on the devices. It will look good on devices, and it's well worth investing in if you want to start producing things on Amazon. Otherwise, it can be a very laborious process. It can be a very time-consuming process to actually convert your Word document and make sure that it formats correctly for the Kindle bookstore. The advantage, of course, of being on the Kindle bookstore is people go in and they look for, how to stop smoking. Well, they've got your free special report there. So it's quite cool, and obviously at the end of that special report, you have your call to action, for a free consultation. Richard works internationally to help people stop smoking. For a free consultation, contact him at richardhaggerty.co.uk or call him on da-da-da. So you can have you've got some really cool marketing there. A nice graphic at the beginning when you upload it. I mean, that graphic's probably not going to look that great if they download it to the normal black and white Kindle reader, but the graphic that you've got there that somebody's produced for you, professional5.com, just $10, is the one that will appear on Amazon in the bookstore. So when people are going through now, they see this really cool graphic. Now they see you there. Now they see they've got this thing for free that they can get. It's fantastic. You could even let them know within the book that if they go to this website and leave their name and email, then they can get a free audio recording for stopping smoking. Or like a coupon to get 50% off on your store. So there are lots of ways you can use this. But literally, you come up with the idea, you type it up, you either save it as a PDF or you upload it to Amazon. It's really simple. The thing to do with Amazon is if you have a nice graphic there, you and I, when we're looking at books on Amazon, what do we look at? Well, we're going to look at the reviews, but what's going to get us to look at the review? You want a nice, pretty picture, yeah? It's got to look good. If somebody had something that was all grainy, or just like a white blob, or it was just where, there wasn't anything there and it didn't look professional, it's not going to lure us in. So it's got to look right. This is, of course, all about perception. And when somebody downloads it to their Kindle, or their device so they can read it with the Kindle software, because, of course, they can read it on their mobile phone, it's got to look nice. You want it to be formatted properly. You don't want it to sort of like suddenly have a whole page of space there, because then it just doesn't create the right impression. Instant Formatter will sort that out for you. So I make no money out of that at all. That is just something I found that is really useful, and I would recommend that you certainly consider that if you want to go down that route. So that's the big picture of how to produce books. That's not very difficult, is it? That's pretty straightforward for how to produce a word-based special report, or even a longer book you can do. I mean, and if you wanted to produce like a special report, or you could call it a book, you only need to do 30 or 40 pages to call it that. I mean, it doesn't take a long time to do that, because you can space it out nicely. You can have a few images and stuff in there. Again, Frank Kern, I think at the moment he's selling it for, I think, $5. It's got an interesting price point. It's like $5.67 for his, how to get unlimited coaching and consulting clients. So it's so I'm kind of quite interested to buy that, because I think that would be good marketing. And also I'm interested to see what kind of content, how much he's put in there, how many words that is, so that then I can see, well, look, if he's doing that for that market, there are some things that I can learn that I can do. I'm paying $5 or $6 to get something from somebody who's an acknowledged global expert in how to do online marketing. I think it's probably worthwhile. Okay, so that's books. Right, videos, even simpler. So this is Alex Smith recommended this to me. So thank you, Alex. I just want to give you a little shout out there. This is so fantastic. If you had a video camcorder or whatever, brilliant. But in fact I do, and the battery's not so good on it. But I do have one, but I don't use that. I use my mobile phone and I use my laptop. So this is all done on a MacBook. But honestly, if my Dell if my Dell was working sort of a little bit better, I would do it. It doesn't really make any difference whether it's what kind of laptop you have got. It's as long as you've got a built into it a webcam, then you're good to go. And most of the ones now, if you have any laptop from the last couple of years, it will probably have one in there, and things will look really good on there. So you go through the same process. You come up with your idea, you plan it, you prepare it. That kind of makes sense, doesn't it? You don't kind of want to begin there going, oh, I wonder what, I'm sure I had something to say today. No, You prepare it, yeah? You prepare what you're going to say, right? And it could be anything. I mean, you could produce, let's say, you wanted to do like a 5-week course on how to boost confidence in women who have, their kids have grown up and they're kind of looking to go on to the next stage in life, maybe go back to the workplace, thinking what to do or whatever it is, So you want to have a week 1, a week 2, week 3, week 4. So you're going to do maybe 5 videos. You will break down your ideas. You'll have them there. You'll have them prepared. Flip charts, whatever way you want to do it, doesn't matter. And then you'll let people know, or you can let them know on Facebook Live, and you can, and literally it is, it's that easy that you press a button, isn't it, to Facebook Live, and then you press play and it counts down from 3 to 1 and bang, you go. Now, the really cool thing is that it's recorded. It records this live. At the end of it, it says, do you want to keep this? And you click done, and it keeps it. Now, obviously, if you want that to be a recording, if you want that to be a product later on, then you're not just going to leave it there in the public domain, because this is valuable. This is content that you have produced that you can add value to other people, and you're either going to offer it maybe as a special bonus on another product that you have, or what's going to be a standalone product that you offer. It's quite cool because people will participate in this, so they will have enjoyed that experience and they will want that product later on. But also, you as you're doing that, so you're building up, like you're building up, you're doing some marketing, you're building up your brand as you're doing it. But at the end of it, then you've got a product that you can download and save. So what are you going to do with that afterwards? So you've done week 1, you've recorded it, you've pressed, you've set up your laptop in wherever you are in your office space, wherever it's going to be nice, wherever you feel comfortable. Give a little bit of thought to your surroundings. You must feel comfortable in that area. You'll do a little probably test in advance, because when it goes to that page, you'll be able to see, you can see yourself on the screen, you can see how you look. You will have everything prepared there, and you will go into it, and you'll feel confident doing that, of course, because you've done the section on how to deliver presentations and lecture demos. You know how to prepare yourself mentally. Your physiology will be strong, and you've reminded yourself of why you're passionate about your subject material. You've reminded yourself about the value that you can add to other people. Your physiology is strong, which means that you can't help but feel confident. And you do it, and at the end, you click the button that just says, all done. At that moment, if you right-click, if you go back into your feed and you'll see the video that's there that's been played, if you right-click on it, it will say show URL, which is the part of the internet where that video is hosted and saved. You'll then put your cursor where the URL is, and you will right-click, and you will copy it. Then you will open another tab in your browser, and you'll paste that in there. So you simply put the URL, the www bit, somewhere else in in another tab. And before you press enter, before you actually go to that web page, just simply change the www bit to M, which changes it to the mobile site. So this, I guess, is giving, I don't know if it's giving the highest resolution of that video, but it will give you, that's where you want to go. You change the www part to M, and then you press enter, and you'll go to a page, and you'll see it. It'll look big. It takes up the whole page virtually of the video that was there. It'll take probably about 10 minutes after you present it for you to be able to get that page up. So first of all, it'll say you can't save this because it's not, you can't save things that are live. But it'll take about 10 minutes later, that message will disappear, and you will be able to go through, and you'll know that it's filtered through and being saved online in the cloud, because the play button will appear, and when you press it, you will start to see the video that you just produced. So you've done a live video, but it's also recorded. This is really cool because you have now the first part of your product. When you start to play it, then in the top right-hand corner, there are these 3 little dots. If you click on those, it says save or save as. When you click on that, it will then save it as MP4, which is the video equivalent. So your audio is MP3, it's MP4 is the kind of preferred version that Google likes to have and YouTube like to have the videos in. And you'll just save that to your computer. Once that is saved, you will then upload it to YouTube. You will upload it to YouTube, and before you upload it into the YouTube page, you will select unlisted. It won't be public, it will be unlisted. So only people who have that, only people who you tell where it is will be able to find it. And of course, those are the people who pay for your product. So once it's uploaded to YouTube, what I recommend is you save it to an external hard drive, save it maybe to a USB, at least save it to a couple of places, and then you're going to delete it from your Facebook page. Why are you going to delete it from your Facebook page? Because you've shared that with people, you've shared it live, you've added value. The reason that you are now deleting it, only once you know that it is on YouTube, okay? Wait till, you don't need to do this immediately. Wait till it's uploaded to YouTube and you can see it there and you can play it, because then you know you've always got a copy there online that you can download. I would also then save it to your external hard drive. I would save it to maybe a USB stick. Have multiple backups. It's always best practice. Once that is done, and only once that is done, and once you know that's done and you've tested it across those, then and only when that is done, I cannot overemphasize, only when that's done, then you can delete it from your Facebook posting. So on that mobile page, there's another bit there that says delete, and then it will say, are you sure you want to delete this? Now, at that point, once you press delete, let me tell you, and I've checked on this online, and I've seen people go and ask Facebook this, once you press delete, that's it. There's no getting it back. So it's really important that you understand that. So make sure you download it. Test to make sure that it's downloaded properly. You've got all of it. If it was like 100 minutes, make sure it's 1 hour 41. Check that the file is the correct length. Play it on your computer to make sure it plays fine. Up with the audio, upload it to YouTube, back it up to USB, back it up to an external, and there you have week 1 product. And of course, that's what you're going to do weeks 2, 3, 4, and 5. You simply plan it. Have maybe a flip chart or something else you want to speak to. You will do it. You'll do it live. You'll promote it. You'll tell people on Facebook. You'll have some people there, which is quite cool. It makes it more of an event, and you can really share that information with them. You may even get some testimonials and feedback actually afterwards that you can use for your product later on. But we'll talk about that later. And after you've done that, you will then get the URL. You will paste it in your browser, change www to M, so that you have the big full page version, the mobile version of that video that's saved in the cloud. You need to then even though you're not necessarily going to watch it, you can turn you can mute the volume if you want, but you need to start play. You need to press play on it, and once it starts to play, when it starts to stream, then if you go up to the top right hand corner where it's got the 3 little dots, which indicates there's a little menu of options. If you click on that, it will say it's either save or save as, and it will download it as an MP4 to your computer. At that point, once it's downloaded, immediately upload it to YouTube, remembering to set pick the unlisted settings so that when it's uploaded, not everyone in the world can see it, because you're producing this product that you're going to be selling later on, or offering as a freebie, a free 5-week course, as an incentive to people to come to your website and leave your email. Even better, you may offer it as a free 5-week course, or normally it's £70, but you're going to do it for $29.99 in March or something like that. Or if you did offer it for free, then you can do a press release to say there's a 5-week course for women to boost the women in their 50s, whatever, to boost their confidence. Go here now, put your email. You need to get on and sign up for this course before the 14th of November, or 14th of December, whatever it is. If you go and do this now, this course is like, from a world expert, internationally acclaimed expert, whatever you want to put there, a hypnotist and coach expert specializing in working with women with confidence. And of course, then you use all the information that you learned on how to contact the press, how to put together a press release. You go through all those multiple channels, you keep on until you get that in the paper, you get that on the BBC website, whatever. And now that's really cool, because you're an expert who's got this course online that people can access, and they can sign up on your website. And of course, the really cool thing is it's so easy. At this point, you have your product there, you've got it there for life. And all you will do is, if you're using something like Aweber, which is a way to send those emails automatically, at a regular interval to people. So, if you're on any kind of mailing list, if you ever put your email in on a website and you get these, you start getting follow-up messages, they use autoresponders. So the message gets programmed in, and you decide which day or how many days apart, and they get triggered to be sent automatically. So on day one, it will send the YouTube URL to the first video that you've done, and then you'll be programmed in a week later to have the second video sent to those people. So it's really cool because you'll just send them the URL that points to the unlisted URL. You'll actually tell them what that is if they've signed up for it as a result of the press release, and each week they'll get that link through. What I recommend is that you know, if you were going down that route, you wouldn't just send one email one week and one email the next. No. You'll, you know, on day two, it's like, I just want to send you a quick reminder. I hope you really enjoyed day one. If you haven't seen it, please go here. Day three, hope you enjoyed it. Have you seen it yet? Have you got any questions? Please contact me. Day four, by the way, did you know that I do this? If you're interested in speaking with me now, I'm offering a free consultation throughout this month. Contact me now, Okay, so do you see what you've done there? You've got this free course going on, but if you get something one week and then there's 7 days between it, you've kind of lost momentum. But if you're sending a little email saying, oh, how did you find it? You know, like, I mean, how long is it going to take you to put together a follow-up email that says, oh, how did you find it? Was that useful? Cool. And then the third one, hope you really enjoyed it. Do you have any questions? Day four, now you make your offer, okay? It's taken me years to understand this. I mean, we're not going to really have the opportunity to go into autoresponders and do that. The only thing to say is you do want to have autoresponders. You've always used Aweber because it's simple and easy, but you do want to have that, and you do want to collect emails, you want to build that up, and that's like a big next phase for me. I need to start building up some more lists. So I've got that there, and there's a number of new websites I need to implement that on. But you must be building relationships up, and it's really, really worth your while to do that. So look, we've seen how to create books, type them in Word, save them as a PDF or upload them to Amazon. Videos, you can produce them on Facebook Live. Now you don't have to do them on Facebook Live if you feel a little bit uncomfortable with that. You can do them, you can live stream directly and save to YouTube as well. YouTube has a function called YouTube Live, which will allow you to do it. There are lots of other things you can do. I like Facebook Live because I think Facebook as a platform has some advantages. It's not as formal and stuffy and corporate as LinkedIn is. I can't, you know, LinkedIn is just, there is something about it. It's worthwhile having, and it is a sort of thing that I'm going to explore in future some more. But, you know, Facebook's quite nice. Facebook's, because friends and family are on there, it's a bit more of a cool place where people can share stuff and support. And I think it's just kind of got a little bit more of a sort of friendly community feel, whereas LinkedIn, people are trying to maybe just try and create that perception trying a bit too hard, maybe, to create the perception that they are, you know, superior in whatever they're doing. I think Facebook, it's just a bit more chilled. But in any way, I mean, that's just kind of like my perception, which may or may not be right. But you can record on Facebook, which is a good way to connect with all your colleagues and to share information, or you can just do it straight to YouTube. I think it's quite cool to do it on Facebook because then other people can benefit from that, and then you've got a product afterwards as well. So that's books and videos. But here's the thing, you're a hypnotist and your tool is your voice. Your craft is being able to develop suggestion. And so why would you not want to record the audios when people come to see you? And that's where Audacity comes in. So let's look at how you can produce audio recordings now, because audio recordings are, I've now produced, I've got over 100, over 100 recordings in niche areas. I'm trying to think what the most niche ones are that I've got. I've got a whole bunch on, different weight loss ones. In fact, some of the weight loss ones, one of my friends loved them so much, he asked if he could edit them professionally for me and put soundtracks and stuff to them, which is cool. And I might share them. And there is one called the Inner Child Meditation, which is intended for women who want to feel better about themselves in the dating arena. But anyone can use it. But I have to say that recording is really, really beautiful. But and that's got like special effects and like running water because we go on this journey and you end up in this garden, and at that point there's running water. That is flipping amazing, that recording. I should do a bit more to promote it. But by and large now, I don't do when I produce a recording, it is done. There's no soundtrack to it. It is done in one take, start, stop, and then it is out there. Now, You may want to go and trim it and do certain other things to it, but honestly, you don't need to do that in terms of getting a product out to your clients or having something that's valuable and useful for other people. It doesn't take a lot of extra effort to add backgrounds to it, and there are lots of free nature. I think that even in the members area, I think there are for the Elite Bootcamp, I think there's some free background nature music you can add to these things. Honestly, you can do that with Audacity. You can look up how to add background to it, and you simply will import it into the recording that you've done, and it will add it to the background. And you've just got to make sure that you adjust the volume so that anything you put in the background is, is not too loud. They want to be able to hear your voice. You don't want to be competing with running water. But there could be, arguably, that could be useful if you were, say, going for a new age market. It may be useful. Some people, they may have an expectation of music and stuff that I don't. I just record it and I use my voice because that's really what we're all about. So Audacity, what is Audacity? Audacity is an open source, that just means free, piece of software that allows you to produce recordings. If you type in Audacity, A-U-D-A-C-I-T-I, you can download it to your computer. It works both on the Mac platform and on PC. It looks, as far as I can remember, it's very similar between the two of them, and you will install it. Just obviously make sure when you download it that you have some antivirus protection. Make sure that you get it from, just exercise a little bit of caution at any time you go and get software from the internet. Audacity is great. You'll also need something else when you get that, which is it's always like every time I've done this, it's always taken me a little bit longer just to go and actually find it because they seem to keep moving it around on the internet where this is. But it's called it's where I should put it up here. It's called Lame. I think .dll. But anyway, when you download Audacity, it will say, basically Audacity allows you to record, but you're going to want to export it to MP3. There's a little add-on that goes to, I think it's called Lame, Lame.dll from memory, that you will just need to download and install as well. Okay, it will tell that it'll mention that to you probably on the Audacity page, but you will need that because otherwise you'll be able to record these, but you won't be able to export to MP3, which is really the format that you're going to want to use when you put these on your website or when you give it to your clients. So Audacity and Lame. Audacity, you just click on the button, comes to your computer, you install it. The lame.dll encoder is exactly the same. It's just they seem to move it. It's produced not by this. It's produced by different people who do Audacity. So for some reason, they didn't in that program. They don't sort of focus on being able to export to different formats. You need this little add-on as well. Okay, so that's the little thing that it's a little bit fiddly. Honestly, it's 15-20 minutes extra, but usually for me, just going around finding where it is and then just reading the instructions about where to put it. So I just let you know that now. But once it's done, that's it. It's done. Okay. So Audacity is free. It's freely available. It allows you to produce professional recordings. And if you took the time to learn all the different nuances on there, you can do some pretty cool stuff. Okay. It's open source. The competitor are things like Adobe. I think it's Adobe Audition, which will cost a lot of money to be able to use. This does everything that can do, and it's fantastic it's a fantastic one for us to be able to use. Literally, when you open up, so this is what happens. This is what the screen looks like when you open it up. Actually, it doesn't look exactly like that because that's my representation of it. But the reason I wanted to put this up here now is it's really easy to deliver recordings, because what you'll be doing in essence is you will tell your client in the consultation that you do a number of unique things that you will be seeing for one session or whatever it is you see, but you will let them know that you're going to be recording at least week one. You're going to be at least recording the hypnotic session, because I generally see people, at least unless it's some coaching, if it's a hypnotherapy thing, it will typically be one session. But I will tell them I'm going to record it, so they're looking forward to it. When they come along, I say to them, I said at the beginning of the session, we do our rapport, we have a chat. Before we get to the convincers, I say, look, just to let you know, as you know, we've already spoken, I will be recording the hypnosis session for you, which means that it's going to be even more powerful, because when you leave it, you've got this wonderful recording to listen to every other day for 28 days. We'll talk about that later, but remember, this recording, it's all tailored, this whole session is tailored for you. And because it's tailored for you, I want you to get all the benefits. So I'm going to record this live for you. And of course, you can see them light up. And what else am I doing? I'm, of course, giving suggestions that this means it's going to be wonderful. It's going to permeate to every area of their life, okay? Never miss an opportunity to give suggestions, especially when they don't think that you are giving suggestions, because that's really the best time to deliver your suggestions, when there is no resistance. Now, during that process, what I do is I say to them, look, just to let you know, I am going to, today, when I deliver this to you, I'm going to be announcing at the beginning that this is Richard Haggerty doing this recording. I'm going to announce who I am. I'm going to do a little bit of health and safety disclaimer. And I'm also going to say, as you listen to this recording with headphones, just make sure that you are safe and that you're not operating machinery. I just want to let you know that now, so that when we're doing the hypnosis session and I say that, you already know. And the reason, of course, I'm saying that is later on, when you listen to this recording, that's what you're going to hear me say. Is that okay? And then, of course, go, oh yeah, that's absolutely fine. So what have I done? I've told them that I'm producing a product, and I'm going to be doing that live. And so it's really cool, because after I do the book and balloon and I close my eyes and go into trance, I say, hello, and this is Richard Haggerty, hypnotic consultant from www.richardhaggerty.co.uk, and welcome to You Can Overcome Claustrophobia recording. As long as you keep your eyes closed today, this will be 100% successful for you as you continue to use your powers of imagination, intelligence, and concentration. Please do not listen to this recording. If you suffer from any conditions like depression, please understand that this is not meant and not intended to be any substitute for proper medical attention. This recording is simply designed to help you have greater access to your own internal resources. And as you continue to breathe and relax, as long as you use your powers of intelligence, imagination, and concentration, as you continue to keep your eyes closed, this will be 100% successful for you. And then I go into the rest of the recording. So what have I done? It's really cool, because now I've introduced the name of the recording. So of course it's going to be called How to Overcome Claustrophobia. People know me, they know my website, because later on, when I say that, I've got this product that, of course, I can give out to people. And it has got the necessary health and safety information up front. You've got Alex's cool thing, which we've got to give him credit for, which is as long as you keep your eyes closed, this will be 100% successful, or 1,000,000% successful if you want to go down that route, which just makes me chuckle. I love listening to his recording. But, if you have that in the beginning, you set a strong frame that as long as they keep their eyes closed, this will be successful. So what you're doing is you're helping them to, in essence, arguably get eye catalepsy. You're helping them trigger the ability to stay kind of in that state. And it's just a wonderful thing to do. And of course, you're telling them that it's about them using their powers of intelligence, imagination, and concentration. This is a really cool thing to do. And the other thing I do is I'll typically say at the beginning, if you need to come back out of this for any reason at all, then you'll come back refreshed, able to deal with that situation safely, and then come back to this when the time is right and appropriate for you. Okay, so how cool is that? You've told your client that you're going to be saying that. You've informed them that the reason to do that is that they should, like when you're saying this is not intended for any sort of, this is not intended to diagnose and replace any professional medical attention. Only listen when you can safely relax and comfort at home. Never listen to this whilst you're operating machinery. I've told them that I'm going to have those boilerplates at the beginning, so that later on when they're listening to it, it'll just be a safety reminder for them. It'll make sure they're in the right state of mind. It has everything necessary. And of course, that shows what a consummate professional you are. I mean, think about it. You've told your client that you've produced and are producing a recording for them, a live recording of the session that you're doing. You are not only doing that for them, but you are making sure that everything is set up for their safety and well-being afterwards, and you've informed them of that up front. It adds massive value to the session. It adds massive value to what you're doing. And honestly, that one-off performance that you're doing, whether you're reading a script, whether you are just, whether you're happy more with just, using, say, hypnotic language, which you can do either way, it doesn't matter. But now you can focus on that. You can focus totally on your delivery. And at the end, you simply press stop and you save it. You'll save as MP3, and of course now you have a product you can send to your client, and you've got one that you can add to your store. You can sell online. There are lots of places to go and sell it. How cool is that? So how are you going to do this? How are you going to record your? How are you going to use Audacity? Well, let's do it. Let's think of it this way, because the first thing we're going to do is we are going to need something to record it to. You don't just want to use you could record audio just on your computer. You could record it just on your laptop. That probably wouldn't work very well. So if you have something like this, which is the Microsoft Live Chat 3000, you can use this. This is fantastic. This works really well. In fact, actually, I can probably show you a couple of the other things that I have got here. What is it? We can get this out. Oh, this baby. I haven't used this for a while. This is what I used to use. So this is called a pop shield. Okay. And you can attach this, if your office setup allowed this, you would have this attached to your desk. You have a microphone. I can't see that. We've got the microphone here somewhere. You've got the microphone, a USB microphone that stands up that goes here, and you speak. You have this about this far away from your face, and you have your microphone on this side, and it will be a USB microphone that's like it's got a square kind of base here, and you talk through this, and what happens is this will stop some of the sibilant sounds, some of the p or the b, those kind of words that will pop. This pop shield is designed to stop things like that happening as you record it. Now, this is the way I used to do it. And you can do that, and that's a really cool way to do it. But honestly, I have found that this £30, oh, well, less than £30, isn't it? £23, Microsoft Live Chat does a really cool job, and it's really nice as well because it gives you quite a bit of versatility. This will be plugged into your computer will automatically recognize it. You'll put it on just as you're doing your session, and here's what you're going to do. Before you will do some tests, and we're going to run through these to get and configure Audacity, because you need to know how to configure Audacity. When you plug this into your computer, you will plug it in, then you will launch Audacity. If you do it that way around, Audacity will register that you've got this. If you've used, sometimes this happens with Skype as well. I mean, it's a bit hit or miss with Skype. Skype was fine. I mean, I like it, but it can be quite temperamental. But best practice is to put this in first, then launch the program, and the program will then find this, because you're going to need to tell it to record from this and not from the computer later on. Okay? But here's a little tip for you. When you're using this headset or something like it, there are Logitech, do other ones out there. It's just I've used 3 or 4 of these over the years. Eventually what happens is the kind of black rim here starts to, it's kind of weird. It's just sort of like, well, eventually as you use it will just sort of disintegrate, and at a certain point you just end up with black bits in your ear, and at that point it's time to chuck this out and get another one. But they do a very good job. They're really cheap to use, very reliable. You'll put it on like this. Now, you would think that you want to have it as close to your mouth as possible. But if you do that, you're going to get a lot of sounds like and you're going to have that all the time, and it's not quite good enough for our purposes. However, if you take this and you have it down just a little bit below your mouth, so this is a bit below where you think it might necessarily be. You've got it a bit in front of you. But what's going to happen then is, so hopefully you can see that from this direction. You can see it here. I've got it rather than directly in front of my mouth here. I've now got it sort of kind of about chin level, or perhaps even maybe just, yeah, how would I have it? Yeah, probably that sort of height. So if you have it around about there, or even just round about there, then what will happen is when you're speaking, that p and the d, those words that kind of will pop, and you'll hear this sometimes. I mean, you trust me, if you do this, if you put this in front and you say, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, if you do that and it's in front of your mouth, then what will happen is you'll just have, and it's not the most beautiful sound. If you have it a little bit off center from your mouth, a little bit down a little bit, then that won't happen. So that's a little tip on the audio. But you are going to test this up front each time. You're going to make sure that everything's set up nicely. Because I promise you, once you've done this, once you get used to doing this, it's zero effort to do. Okay, so we've got Audacity. we have got a headset or a microphone, okay? And you've told your clients in advance, you've told them in the consultation that they're going to get a free recording. And I think it's really good practice to record this live, because it sharpens your senses. You know, it's kind of like, imagine that you were in a play and it's the dress rehearsal and it's just the director there. Well, that's okay. But now you're doing the performance, you've got 100 people there. Okay, now you're paying attention. And I think it's really cool. I think it's really nice. There's something about doing a recording live with a client there that you can't get. If you're in a studio, you can try and imagine. I mean, it's one of my colleagues does his products, and he puts a teddy bear there, and he imagines that he's talking to the teddy bear. I prefer having the real person there and be doing a real session. I just think that works really well. And then I don't need to make time. If I want to chat with my teddy bear, I can do that in my own time. I don't need to sort of like, you know, set aside time to do it. You know, why combine sort of the work and the sort of, you know, the pleasure time with your teddy bear? Let's just crack on with it. You're already there and you're already doing it. Why not record it? So this is really cool. And all you'll do, you press the button on Audacity. Remember, you've put the USB, you've connected up the headphones to your laptop. You launch Audacity, so you press the button, you click Audacity, and it starts up. You're then going to have a screen that looks very, very complicated. And I suspect it is. And honestly, I know very little about what most of the things do on there. All I'm interested in is how I can record what it is that I'm doing. Okay, and that's what we're interested in now. So this is what the Audacity screen is going to look like. On the very top, much like Microsoft Word and PowerPoint and Excel, you have the things like typical things at the top, like File and Edit. You know, those kind of menu options. So that's on the top. Underneath that, you've got the little buttons that you would recognize typically that you might see in any kind of music player or audio player or video player. So you've got the little pause button, you've got the triangle for play, you've got the square button for stop, you've got backwards, forwards, and then you've got that red button, that red circle, yeah, that's the record button. Now, before you do your recording, each time you go in, you need to check for 5 things in there, really. There's 3 settings, but we need to make sure that they're all exactly the way we want them. The first is up here. There's 2 lines on the top on the right-hand side, which are for volume. And they actually look like lines, and they're going across. And there's the first one there you don't need to worry about, and that's the volume on your computer if you are playing something back. So we can ignore that. It matters not for us in terms of actually recording. What does matter is here. This might look a bit like a lollipop, but that's my drawing of a microphone. It's got a sort of it uses a graphic of you know, one of the old school sort of like microphones, handheld big mics. You know, the kind that Shirley Bassey would sing with in the old days. Yeah, and well, she probably does now. But you've got that mic there. That's the volume. That's the recording volume. That's the volume that it's going to record at when you are speaking, and that you do need to get right. And what you're going to do is, it's got a little kind of like slider here. It's got 10 little notches in, and you want to slide that up to round about the 7th notch on there. If it's down at 0, then it records at 0 volume. If it records at 10, it will be no. And if it, you know, and it would be just a little bit too much. And if you're on 1, you're going to be speaking like this. So put it up to about 7, and of course you're going to test afterwards. And I have found that if that is set to 7, things are good. I tend to have to reset each time I go into Audacity. Sometimes it seems to keep it there, sometimes it doesn't. Just check each time, because it's going to save you, and test it before your clients come. If you do that in the morning and get it set up, you will be good to go for the rest of the day. So that's the first thing. Make sure that the recording volume is set to at least 7. That is the slider in your top right-hand corner, okay? And you'll recognize that, because next to it on the left-hand side is the thing that looks a bit like a lollipop here. It looks more like a microphone in Audacity, okay? The second thing is, underneath, remember we've got the file and edit options at the top. Underneath that, you've got the control buttons. Underneath that are 4 little drop-down menus. And honestly, for years, I recorded my stuff, with the first setting, which I think the default setting is something like MME. And what happened was everything had this horrible hiss to it, and I used to spend ages trying to extract the hiss from it. Little did I know that if I had it picked up the option, which it doesn't seem to have by default, of Windows Direct Sound, then the hiss vastly, well, pretty much disappears almost entirely. Now, I don't know what the equivalent setting is on a MacBook for that, but at least on PCs, make sure it's set to Windows Direct Sound. So if there are 2 or 3 options, then what I would do is I would simply do a little test to see which sounds best for you. You know, testing, 1, 2, 3. So you can click that testing, 1, 2, 3. Once you've finished, press the stop button and then press the play button, and it will play it back to you, and you can hear it. So you can play around with this, but you must make sure that you've got enough volume on there so that you can be heard well. At least on the PC version, you must make sure that it's Windows Direct Sound. The next one says primary. I've never played around with that, just leave that. It's the third one there again, and it's got the little microphone next to it there. That one, I don't know what that looks like, but there is a drawing there of the microphone. The third little option there, you want to make sure that you pick, it'll say headset microphone, and in brackets, Microsoft Live Chat 3000 or whatever microphone is that you're using. But make sure you pick the one that says headset microphone, otherwise it will record your voice with the using whatever's built into your laptop, and that will be okay, but what that will do is it will capture all the other sounds around you. It just will be an inferior quality recording. And if you do it this way, you'll have a recording that's pretty good. I mean, it's not the same quality as if you went into an audio studio, but it's very, it's good, and it's excellent enough for our clients, and it's good enough to have for products. Okay, so you've got Windows Direct Sound, leave primary. Make sure that this one here, this third one here, is set to headset microphone, and this one here will be set to 2 stereo. You can just leave that. So actually, all you really need to do is just make sure your volume is set to 7. Make sure it says Windows Direct Sound. Make sure you manually pick in this third one here, headset microphone, and you are good to go, because all you do then is you press that red button. And of course, so this is the way that it will typically, the way it would sort of look. So I'll say to the client, so I'll tell them up front, I'll say, look, we're going to be recording the session today. Just to let you know, when I introduce it, I'm going to say, this is Richard here from richardhaggerty.co.uk, and welcome to your recording today. Make sure that you only listen to this when you can relax safely and comfortably. Never listen to this when you are operating machinery or driving. And I say that to them. I say, look, I just want you to let you know that I will say that at the beginning, because later on, of course, when you're listening to this at home, it's just important that you have everything there to be able to get the most out of this. And it's important information just so that you do everything safely and just in the right way. So, and I say it nice and casually like that, and they go, oh yeah, that's really cool. And of course they like that because you're the consummate professional who is looking after them. You're always looking after your client. One thing I love about Alex is he's always like about the insurance, taking care of clients. You always want to be looking after clients. And I have many other colleagues who are wonderful like that, who really want to look after their clients. This is a really important way to do it. So you can put this in, you've got your headset on, because you'll actually put this on, you'll have your laptop next to you with this, so you'll go through and do everything else for your clients. You won't sort of actually, even turn to your laptop until you've done your induction. I just do, I go from the book and balloon into the seesaw induction. As they've got their eyes closed, I will typically do a few deepeners. So that's right, deeper and deeper. The more you listen to my voice, the deeper you go, and the deeper you go, the more relaxed you are. That's right, deeper and deeper and deeper. That's right, and in a few moments, when I start to introduce this, and you'll hear me introduce the recording that's coming here now, you can just go even deeper inside. You can let all these words wash over you. You can go down deeper and deeper. As I lift your arm and drop it down, another 10 times deeper relax. So I will go through a number of those deepening rituals, and that's right. And as I lift up your arm and drop it down again, another 10 times deeper relax, deeper and deeper now. And then I will put the headset on. I'll just make sure that, of course, as I put it on, yep, as we talked about, so I put it on, the actual, this part of it is not right in my mouth. It's going to be sort of somewhere like that. So it's going to be down there. You can play around with this a little bit, but honestly, if it's down there, it will just pick up the voice nicely, because you will speak up at this kind of volume, but you won't get all the and the but and all those kind of those sounds, you know, the kind of like whistling noises. So you've got that there, you're wearing it, and you press play, and you record your induction, and of course you'll have a count up at the end, and as you're counting up at the end, and one, I'm back in the room, and typically at this point I'll press the pause button, but it doesn't matter. You can press pause or say or pause, or you could do that. That's it. You press record at the beginning, and you record the session. At the end of it, you can pause it, or you can press stop. It doesn't really, it makes no difference. And then you will save that. In fact, as you go to save it, it'll prompt you actually to press the stop button, and that is it. It's actually really cool as well, because let's say that your client starts coughing in it, or you need a little sip of water or something like that. You can press the pause button, have your sip of water. You can say to your client, and now you can just continue to bathe in this for the next few moments. So you can pause it, have your little drink of water, so that you don't have to record that on the audio. But of course, in your mind, you remember immediately to restart it again. You will know when it's restarted because it's got this line going along. If you press pause, the line stops. And in fact, it not just stops, but there'll be these squiggly lines there. Who knows what these squiggly? No, they've got the kind of the decibel lines kind of going like that. If you pause it, it will stop. And so you'll know when you start recording again, because these lines will be going. We'll talk about those lines in a minute, okay? That's it. I mean, it is that easy. And let's say you actually quite like the idea of just recording it by yourself, even without clients around. It's exactly the same process. I just want to kind of give you that so that you don't have to make extra time in your busy schedule and your busy life to do that. But of course, there may be times when let's say you wanted to give a little talk or do a little podcast or something like that, that then you can put out through all the different channels out there, then fantastic, you can do that. Although, to be honest now, if I was going to speak with people, my preference would be to go onto Facebook Live, do it and then save it. And then if I'm going to use Audacity to produce products, why not just do it at the maximum time when my brain is completely primed, I'm completely in the zone, when I've actually got somebody there who actually needs that, and I'm actually speaking to them and drawing upon my skills and my 17 years of therapeutic instincts and training. Why not record that and have that there? Because let's face it, that's been delivered in the trenches, so to speak. So that's going to be massively valuable for other people as well. So this is a really cool thing to do. You have your headset in, launch Audacity, you configure the settings, make sure it's Windows Direct Sound if you've got a Windows PC. If it's not on the MacBook, then there'll probably be 2 or 3 other things. Just do a test. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Try each of the 3 out, see which one works best for you. Make sure that this third option, this third drop one here, make sure it says headset microphone, so you're not using the native audio kind of facility in the laptop that you have. Make sure that you have picked the correct volume. This will be the second sort of line at the top right here, next to the microphone logo. Get it up to about 7. And honestly, this is just, I know this is so obvious, this will save you a lot of hassle. Test before your clients come. Don't just try and get everything out and do this. Have a good test. Every time before a client comes, I have a checklist of things I go through. And I will share that for you later on. A clear checklist. I have checklists for my own state. I've checklists for the room, the way the room is. I have checklists for, even though I know it's going to be finger mice, even though I know it's magnetic, even though I know it's magnetic hands, even though I know I'm going to do the handshake induction, I will then pantomime those out as though that person's there. I will hallucinate them in front of me. I will speak out loud, and I will do that. I will do that in the right state. Why? Because I want to be prepared and primed to absolutely create the context in which the change happens. And it's got to be, you have to be absolutely certain of that inside your mind. You don't want to be thinking, oh God, I've got this recording here. Oh God, I hope my microphone works. I hope I've got the recording set up. No, you set it all up, that you have it set up, your laptop's plugged in, you have Audacity on, you've got the settings, you've made sure those settings are there, you've tested them before your client comes. So you've done your testing 1, 2, 3, you've played it back, you know it sounds good to yourself, you know you have the options there, but you can leave that now. You can leave that ready to record. So once you press that, it will record it and it will typically try to save it for you. If you don't want to, you can just say close, but you will go File, New if you want to, after you've done a test, just to open another window, and then you can do the new recording for the actual client session. At the end of it, of course, you will go File, Save As, and you will save it as an MP3. It's quite cool because it will allow you to give you a name for the file, a name for the album, a name for the song. It'll allow you to put your name as the the author of the song, and you can put the year there as well. So it's quite cool. It allows you to say, it'll automatically add that information. So when it goes on somebody's, when it goes on their phone or they listen, whatever they're going to listen to it from, it typically be their smartphone with a pair of headphones. When they listen to it, it will say the album will be, You Can Overcome Claustrophobia by Richard Haggerty, and the track is You Can Overcome Claustrophobia. Again, it looks really cool, it looks very professional, and this is massively adding value. And of course, anyone you sell that product to will also have that. And of course, you've covered yourself nicely, you've been very professional by giving you've mentioned they should only listen to it when it's safe and comfortable, when they can give their full attention to it. They should never listen when they're operating machinery or driving. You've also given the boilerplate to that. This is not intended as any kind of medical, this is only intended as a basically information. Always consult your registered medical practitioner for information. And that is as simple and easy as it is. And then just relax and enjoy recording that. So I wanted to share this with you today for a number of reasons. We are all about having an end-to-end excellent customer service. We need to create the right perception so that we are perceived as experts in our industry. If you have video products, if you have audio products, if you have books and special reports, you are an expert in the industry and you are somebody who's producing content. It's not difficult to do. You can go and get a couple of books on stress management at the library, and you can get some ideas from them. You can just Google stress management tips, go through and list like 100 that come up in all different kind of things in Google, and then you can pick 6 or 7 and you can put them in your own order. Or I tend to just let that information come up from all my experience of working with those people. I think, well, look, what problems do they have? What are the typical solutions that they're looking for, that are helpful, that I've given them, and then I will use that. So there are loads of ways that you can do this. Coming up with the content is very straightforward, and it is your delivery of it, and just the fact that you are now having products and you're creating products that really adds to this perception of you as an expert. And of course, now most of us don't have the same, we don't have, a whole barrage of people, we don't have millions or hundreds of thousands budget or tens of thousands to produce these things like, say, Paul McKenna, but that doesn't matter because we can produce the audio recordings for free using Audacity as long as we've got a laptop. It's useful to have some kind of device. I used to have this, it was a Logitech microphone that sat on the desk, and then you saw on the other side of it, the pop shield. That's quite a cool way to do it. That has certain other advantages. I don't know how it compares to the headset. I would say honestly they're pretty comparable. But it took me a long time to realize how to set the volume correctly over here and make sure that I picked the right kind of settings over here, and always made sure that I had the headset microphone picked here. Because if you don't do that, then what will happen is you'll end up with a bit of a hiss. You'll also end up with everything on the, it'll basically have a hiss and it will pick up all the sounds in the room, which is not what you want. You want it just to pick up your voice from the microphone and the headset, and you want it to be at a decent volume, and you want it to use the Microsoft Windows Direct Sound option. I'd love to tell you what that exactly means as opposed to MME, but honestly, I don't really care. All I want to do, and all I think you want to do, is make sure that it is as simple as possible. Now, there's one other thing we need to know. You will see on there, and this will come out as you're testing before your clients come along or before you record anything, that there's 2 lines. So there's this page here with these different options at the top, and actually if that's the page, all these options are right up here. I've made them a bit bigger on there. Most of the page is like that, and it has two lines, a line at the top and a line at the bottom. So it's a 0 here and 1 here. And that is, and it will, basically that's giving you an idea of the volume, the overall kind of decibels, and the volume that things are being recorded at. And that will vary depending on how you use your voice. And what you're looking for again is, let's say it's like this, if everything was recorded down here and the line was down here, you wouldn't be able to hear it. If it's too far up the top, if the lines, in fact, if the line goes above the top and back again, it's just going to be too high pitched, it'll be too shrill. So what you want is you want to sort of keep the line, and it will wave and it will move as it's going up here. You want to sort of keep it 5, 6, 7, maybe 8. I mean, if you can keep it around the 7 sort of area, you'll see it will start to wiggle like this, almost like, you know, on the on the films, and you see the machines, the kind of heart rate machines in the hospital. It's a little bit like that, and it'll be between 0 and 1. You want to keep it up about sort of 3/4 of the way, 2/3 of the way up. And so the lines will be going up and down, but that will give you an idea that whether your volume that you're speaking at is appropriate, okay, or whether it's too close to the microphone or too far away. And so you can play around with this. What I would encourage you to do is, it literally is as simple as put the USB microphone in your computer. You've installed Audacity and downloaded it. You open it up then, you press record, and then you can play it back. It's as simple as that. However, when you're doing these recordings, it's useful as you're looking at this line, as you're looking at the wavy line in between the two lines, it'll say 0 at the bottom and 1 at the top. It's really useful for you because you'll know whether you're pitching it at the right level, if it's starting to move and stay round about the 7 level. If it starts going too high up, it means maybe you're just the way you're using your voice, just need to bring it down a little bit. And if it's dropping down here, then maybe you need to speak up a little bit. So this actually, in a way, it acts as a kind of vocal coach for you as well, which is really cool. It's useful for you to be aware of that, and I wanted to share this with you today because it might seem like there's a lot of options on that page, and there are. This is designed so that people who are real audiophile experts can do amazing things with it. You and I, however, just want to be able to record. Now, what you could do, there's another way you could do it. There's I think it's called HiQ, which stands for High Quality HiQ MP3 Recorder, which is an Android program that I've got on my phone. You can buy what's called a lavalier mic for about £30, which you attach to here. So it's a small mic with a little cable. It will go on your phone. You will start up HiQ MP3. You press record, and away you go. And now you've got your mic here, and you can do that, and you could use that to record your products or however much you want. I think the HiQ MP3 recorder, I think it's something like £3 to buy that. I mean, it's minimal. The lavalier mic, which is a sort of lapel mic, you can get them on Amazon, a reasonable one if you look at the reviews, for around about £30. I mean, that obviously you can pay a lot more as well. But I've done all my products honestly using Audacity. It is wonderful, it is simple, and it is easy to do. So I want to just take a little bit of time today. I want you to, because the Audacity part is the little technical part, and I wanted you to have that so that now you know everything you need to know in terms of the technical side of the options to pick within Audacity, how to start it, how to record it. You know how to pre-frame things in your consultation that you're going to be adding value by recording this, if you choose to do that. You're going to know how to tell your client in a very casual way that because you're recording it, you're going to be introducing it and say, only use this when you can safely relax, so that your client is ready for that, so it doesn't seem out of place when you are recording it live. And you're going to know how to save MP3, because you'll have to install the little lame DLL encoder, I think it is, it's called, that will just allow you to save it in MP3. But that is honestly the most technical thing. As long as you pick those couple of little options there, make sure that you've picked the microphone, you've picked the volume, you've set the volume at 7, the microphone volume at 7. As long as you've picked the recording device as the headset, and it's the Windows Direct Sound that option, at least on PCs, that you're going to need to use, then you can record any recordings you want. You can produce anything that you want. You could do guided meditations. You can do 10-week programs. You can have coaching programs that you do. So I did for Fearless Fasting. I produced an 8 CD product to go with that complements the book, that goes into deeper detail, that has lots of exercises and so forth that we can do. So where I give information, then I give exercises, then I give little motivational pep talks as well. And it's really cool. I did all that on Audacity. But I tell you what, my most fun way to use that is to use it in client sessions, because then I produce my absolute best work. I know that I've got a product at the end of it. I know the client's going to benefit from that. They just honestly, they've had a free consultation. They've filled out the pre-session questionnaire, and they've had a session tailored for them. Before they even get into the hypnosis, they've had their minds blown by the convincers. There have been suggestions going on throughout, and absolute certainty. And then at the end of that, they've got a recording to take away. I've also trained them to be able to refer should they want to do that in future. They absolutely love it, and I'll typically follow up with them and say, just drop me a line, let me know how you're getting on. And it works really, really well. They feel very looked after, which they are, and it's a massive perception of value to them. And now, of course, you're somebody who's got these recordings. You can put them in a store. There are lots, if you Google setting up online store, there are loads of different platforms now that you can choose from. And of course, you could incorporate that into a press release. Hypnotist specialized in claustrophobia is offering a free recording to any of our readers, throughout the festive period, so that they can start 2018 completely free to enjoy just a better year, to put the past behind them. And all they need to do is go to this website, and and they can claim their free recording. So of course they go there, and you don't just have it there. They can download. Of course, they have to leave their email address, and they'll leave their email address, and that's automatically sent to them. How cool is that? So we've seen here that you want to be adding value to your clients. Products are really easy to produce these days. What I love is that you can produce all of these. Other than buying the headset, there's nothing really that you need. If you want to upload to the Kindle store, Kindle format is useful. And if you are producing, say, a book, or let's say it was your flagship CD or MP3 that people are going to go to your website and download, it may be worth you going onto Fiverr and paying $10 for somebody to produce a unique cover for that. And what they'll do is they can even make it 3D for you, so it looks like a CD case that's been opened up. So that's really cool, because then you can have like a little cover and a CD case. You can have a graphic there saying, get this recording here today. And of course, once you see the image of it there looking like a CD, it creates that perception of, wow, this is something, and you'll say, value $29.99, free today. You put in your name and email here. Now you've given a massive incentive for people to sign up. I used to do this for weight loss lists. I've done it for stop smoking lists. People love it. The stop smoking, it was fantastic. They used to absolutely love that. So I did a recording, how to prepare, hypnotic recording, how to prepare to quit smoking. So they could listen to that, and I would train them to get used to my voice, and people would love this because they would listen to it. And then they would typically phone up and say, I'd love listening to that. I really like your voice. Now, of course, we've got all the rapport there. We have the consultation, and I say, look, when you come in now, of course, that's really helping you. So it means you're in the right mindset. When you come in now, you'll be amazed at how deep you can go. You thought you went deep with that. When you come in here, you will drop into this wonderful deep state. It'll be a delightful experience for you. And by the time you leave, not only will you have made those changes, but of course, you'll have your own tailored recording that you can take away with you. I mean, imagine how much more powerful that's going to be. And you get the picture. You can imagine my clients are beaming even before they come here, because I want them to feel fun. I want to add value to them before they come. I want them to feel incredible. And of course, we want to have that there, and then the context is fully created. The rapport is created. The expectation is there. They are primed for success. They're expecting it. So the ritualistic process of the trance, the induction, all those kind of things, it's everything's in place so that they get the maximum benefit out of it. You don't need to pay any money to additional money, as long as you've got a laptop that has got a built-in it's got a built-in camera on it. Then you can use that to record things on Facebook Live, like we're doing here, and then you can download that, save that afterwards. You can upload it to YouTube, upload it unlisted, then you've got that. That link is the link that you're going to send out to people who purchase your product. So this is really cool. And you can have it, if you have, we've got 28 days here, but you might have 5 weeks, whatever it is, 28 days, honestly, our recommendation is go a little bit shorter because it's a lot for you to do, particularly starting off, although it's fantastic. And we've got a lot of, the wonderful thing about this is that we can cover all the ground that we need so that you're fully prepared to be able to just get the most out of everything else that you want to. And of course, if you want to produce, the easiest, most simple thing to produce is a little special report, 7 tips, 10 tips, 12 tips. Well, of course, you can type that up in Word, you can save it as a PDF, rather than just have it as like, let's try and make this perception like something really special. So go onto Fiverr.com, have fun with it. I'll pay $10. In fact, it'll cost $11 probably the first time because you'll get charged like a £1 processing fee these days. But ask somebody on there who's got, comes up high with the reviews to make you a cover. Because when you have that cover, you can then put it on your website saying, sign up now and get this special report. You can use it in the press release that you send to the newspapers. So they've now got a picture of this. And they can produce it for you in 2D and also 3D if you ask, which looks really cool. And of course, it goes on the front cover. So when people download it and they look at it, they have this thing that just creates the right impression. What's the right impression? The right impression is the perception of quality. And once you've got that perception of quality, then you've really got the hypnosis of marketing organized and down exactly the way you need to have it. So there's what we've covered today is just what you need to do in the trenches to be able to produce these products. There's the beginning part, which is the niche marketing research. Okay, there's also like generating ideas and being able to come up with that and plan that. That's a separate thing, but we can look at that as well. And I think we'll do that as a bonus later on. And then we will do that as a bonus later on because it's a lot of fun. And I'm enjoying sharing with you here the things that it's taken me a long time to put together and work out the strategies and sequences that do actually work. And honestly, with the audacity steps that you've got there, it took me so long to work them out. I was either not picking, I was having the hiss in the background or whatever. I had this big screen which was like overwhelming with the content there. It wasn't always easy online to get good information about that. And it took me a long time to be able to do that and be able to find the right kind of ways to record that and so forth. So you've got that there, so you can go straight in and do that. And of course, the key thing then is once you've done that is market it. Do press releases, add it to your website as an incentive for people to sign up and leave their emails. Set up an online store, get somebody to create an image for each of those recordings. Okay, it might cost you $10 in the beginning, let's say for a cover for your PDF. But if that's what you're using to attract your clients, if that's what you're putting out there, then honestly, investing $10 or $11 to do that is very, very minimal, because the first client who signs up and then books with you, well, you've made your cash back. And of course, you will keep doing that. And also you will keep being one of those people who's a wonderful ambassador for our industry, who is really offering excellent value, creating the right perception, building up that whole customer service experience of wonderful value and having the right perception. So thank you so much for joining me here today. This is really, I love creating products. I think you can tell that. It's fun. I mean, why wouldn't you want to share the experiences that you've got with other people who would be interested and can value them? I think I put on today, years ago I used to do loads of press releases, and I'm really cool. I'm really excited to sort of get back into doing that more consistently now, because I remember I was out with a friend of mine, Janet, one day, and this is a true story. So this is going back a few years. And I have been constantly I've been out with lots of girlfriends at the time, well, friends who are girls, and they've been telling me, oh, there's no men out there, there's no men out there. I'm sitting with Janet and we're chatting about this, and all around us in the store here, there are women chatting, saying, oh, there's no men out there, difficult to meet, can't meet them, blah, blah, blah. I'm all saying this. And Janet and I are there, and we're listening to these conversations, and we're smiling. And I said, Janet, you know what? All the stuff that I know from NLP and hypnosis is about creating the right mindset, positive expectancy, about body language. I could do something called, Man Magnet, which would teach people how to do that. She said, Richard, you should do that. So I went home. For 3 days and nights, I didn't sleep. I planned that, had it on my wall. I was a lot of coffee consumed in that. 30,000 or whatever words later, I had one of my first books. No, that was my second book, I think, and that was maybe just all of like 90 pages, something like that. And I thought, well, look, we've got this done now. So let's have a bit of kip and a bit of rest. And then when I got back, it was quite interesting because that was all the way through the weekend. So I sent the press release off. So I just put it together, and you know what? Immediately, the local paper got back and they sent someone along. And it was quite funny because the person that was actually seeing someone, she was like, Richard, make me a man magnet. And it was so funny. She was called Laura. She's very charming. She really wanted to go and experience hypnosis. We sat down in the chair. And I done it was real basic stuff. I did back then. We did like a little handshake induction, some very simple anchoring, and she had a wonderful experience. She said, "I feel so good. I feel so positive. I feel really wonderful inside myself." And she wrote a beautiful article about that. It was a full-page article in the Western Mail, and that all came about through producing one product, which I then added to ClickBank and sold lots of copies of. I produced little MP3s that are special bonuses that can go with that to make it even more appealing. You put your sales letter and so forth around that. And there's nothing particularly challenging or difficult about doing that or putting that kind of information together. You do need to just take some action. Once you have the idea and the inspiration, you just need to do it, which is why I would recommend with Audacity, once you've got your clients coming to your session, why not record the hypnotic component part of it? I'm not talking, by the way, just to be very clear, nothing private goes in there, nothing about the name, nothing in the pre-talk, nothing. And this is solely what you're, and you're going deeper inside now. And as that old problem drifts into the background, you start to realize that you feel comfortable as you go out and meet people day to day. And you feel comfortable in open spaces and you feel comfortable in confined spaces because you realize now that you feel the sense of more expansiveness inside. Okay, you can record that. That is fair game, but will benefit them and it will benefit other people all around the world. You don't need to frantically work days and nights to do it, although there may be times when that's useful. And of course, you will follow that up through some consistent marketing to be able to promote that. Once you have a product, wonderful thing is you've got that for life, and you can use that, you can bring that out, you can package that up. Let's say you have somebody who comes for confidence, you have somebody who comes for self-esteem. Now you've got the total confidence and self-esteem claustrophobia package, and you can offer that as 3 recordings, and it's normally, $10.99 each, but you can get all 3 of these for just, $17.99, today. And so you have this wonderful, you start now being somebody who is a producer of content. Once you start thinking along these lines, it really does give you a lot of confidence because you can see how, really, you can see the wonderful positive benefits of everything that you have been doing. You can see the output there. You can suddenly look and see, wow, I've got 5 recordings that I've done. I've got a special report. I've got a book that I've done. I've got this press article here, and it can happen very, very easily. It happens, and I wanted to show you today how easy that is. There's a little bit of thinking up front, but you know how to do the client empathy map. You know how to do niche marketing now, and the marketing on the other side of it in terms of promoting yourself. There are some cool things that you've learned here. Like if you were going and doing a lecture demo, you could have some of those put on a CD and people could buy them there whilst you're doing the lecture demo. Or you could just let them know that if they go to your website today and they give them the URL, and if they go there and put in their name and email, they can get a free recording. So now your lecture demo is something where the invitation that you're getting out ties into the product that you produce. But producing products is easy, it's fun. As we've been here right now, we have been producing a product together. How cool is that? So as we're finishing up now, know that you have been taking part in something that's been not only learning about the product, but we've been producing it together. And that's how easy it is. It's enjoyable. If you know how to use Word, if you can download Audacity, if you can press record and stop and save, you can do the audio versions. And with Facebook Live, you'll record it, you'll be able to have that live, and then you can download that and you can upload it to YouTube, or you can put it on any other platform you want. You could embed that separately within WordPress. You can do whatever you want with it. But I wanted to share this with you today because a lot of people are frightened about producing products. They don't think they have much to say, which of course you've got a lot to say because you've got your whole lifetime of experience, or they think it's technical or will take a lot of time. No, not at all. Just get used to doing it. Just, one really cool thing. I mean, I mentioned about what Frank has been saying of late, that he says, right, I'm going to do this product. I'm going to do like a whole day seminar on how to produce a book and how to market it. And I'm going to do it. And he did it yesterday. He's actually replaying it today, but I wasn't able to do that because I'm here with you. And that's really cool. And I love this. And this is what needs to be done now. But what's happened, but it was really funny because, so I've been doing this for quite a long time now. And he's like, you know what? I've just had this idea that if you have it and you say you're going to do it and you do it live and then you record it, then at the end of it, you have a product. And I just thought, well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. You have a product at the end of it. And of course, by delivering it live, it's got that live feel to it, it's got that energy to it, and you have an audience there, and you're really delivering exactly with passion what you've got. Now, what he'll be doing at the end of that, he's got a whole day of stuff, and he'll probably send that off, and he'll no doubt will have that broken down to little modules and be edited. And I know he's going to do his one-day thing I think he's going to do it for $1,000. So, I mean, that's pretty cool, So you could do a whole day seminar. Maybe one day I will do that in a day. But actually, the sky's the limit. Facebook Live, YouTube, these are free. Word is free. Uploading a book to put on Amazon is free for you to do. And using Audacity to produce any kind of hypnosis recordings, any kind of coaching recordings, any kind of podcasts you want to do, any kind of informative things. Your 12 secrets to easy weight loss could just be an audio that you record. And so you do that in your room, so you don't have to worry about, I might be a bit self-conscious, putting a headset on with other people that, I don't think I can do that. Well, fine. Then you can just simply do your 12 tips for weight loss. You can record that in the comfort of your own home, or in your kitchen, or in your room, or in your office, wherever you want to do it. And you can record that, save it, and then you can have that on your website. And I wanted you to know how to do this so that you absolutely now have everything you need, all the information you need to know that you can produce wonderful products. You can produce products, and by doing so, you will be increasing your perception as a credible expert in your field. You will have products that you can sell, that you can retail, and that there is no magic to this. It's not difficult. It's not challenging. I guess the challenging part is, and it's always funny, and I've spoken with lots of people about this over the years, it's simply to just do it. Don't think about this now in your mind. Do it. Pick something and do it and have the experience and learn from it. It really doesn't matter. You're far better off doing something and learning from it than thinking about it. Thinking will get you nothing. Doing will get you everything that you need. And so and of course you can take a horse to water and all that, but what I wanted to give you today is just everything that you will need so that there's no kind of block in your mind of, I wouldn't know how to do that. I wouldn't know the first thing about going and producing an audio recording or a video recording or a book. I mean, and then, because in our minds, if we get blown up a book, maybe you're thinking Encyclopedia Britannica or, Jane Austen. No, it's much, much more easy to be an to create information products. You can do that the same day, in a matter of days, and have the sales letter ready to go and start promoting these really. And my advice would be that you really do think along those lines. That look, you can easily have a website set up to sell that recording or that suite of recordings, and you can promote that. Offer something there for free, and have a press release that's going that speaks to that, and an incentive for people to go there, because it's very, very straightforward to do. The only thing it takes is a commitment on your part to actually do it, and a decision to be somebody who adds value to other people. And the very fact that you're here today, the very fact that you're listening, the very fact that you have all your years of experience behind you, and you have a lifetime of experience to draw upon, whether you are new to hypnotherapy, whether you come from the Ericksonian tradition or more sort of direct tradition, whether you come from a more sort of state-based theory tradition or something else, it really doesn't matter. You have a lifetime of experience that you can share with other people, a lifetime of valuable experience that can transform other people's lives. And if you try to do it one person at a time, which I love to do, and this is a wonderful thing to do, that is fantastic, but you can actually share that information with all the other people in the world. You can help other people in the world to benefit as well. And of course, as they benefit, you will build relationships with them. Whether or not you offer some of those products as an incentive to build relationships up so that later on you may do business together, or whether you choose to sell them as standalone products, or whether you just simply use them to be able to tie with nice press releases, to be able to add greater value to a wider range of people and be able to encourage them to look at alternative ways for them to improve their lives. You have a lifetime of experience, you have a lifetime of wisdom, and you have absolute unique experiences and gifts inside you, completely unique to you. You are so special and valuable if you would but continue to deepen that appreciation of yourself, not in an egotistical or kind of hubris kind of way, but in a real appreciation for yourself because of the value that you can add to other people. Then what that means is you can continue to really broaden that perception of you as an industry expert as you add value to other people through video, audio, through books, through articles. And I would really encourage you to do that. I mean, a while back, certainly with some of my friends, Nick, my buddy John Wilson in the States, a wonderful hypnotist over there, we've used Google Hangouts before. And Google Hangouts is a way that we can live stream to YouTube. And so what happens is we set up and we do an interview. And so we'll ask questions about whatever it is, about their latest book, or the way about their origin story, or about the way that they work with people therapeutically. So it's all about sharing great content. And we'll do it as an interview. And we can do that. So you'll have one of us, you'll see a little kind of like, you might see a little icon of one of us in the bottom right screen. And you can do that via Google Hangouts, which is it's one of the free things that Google has. And it basically will stream it live to YouTube. And then at the end of it, you can simply save that. And so then it's available as something online. Now that's a slightly different kind of product, so it's not necessarily one you'd sell, but now you've got an interview that's there that you can put on your website, you can share on your blog, you can share across social media. This stuff is all available, it's there, it's free. It's simply a question of you staying very consistently producing these products and then marketing them. And if you do that, if you make sure, first of all, that there is a demand for it and that's going to speak to your audience, then do it and then market it, good things will happen. So today is just to make sure that there's no reason for you not to produce these. I don't want you to stumble. I don't want you to I want you to be completely clear exactly what to do. Yes, there's a little bit of a learning curve whenever you install a bit of software. And sometimes you'll forget to tick one box and the other. That's just life, isn't it? But you know what? Particularly once you have a checklist for that as well, by the way, that will tend to happen a lot less. And secondly, there is a learning curve. That's just part of the way things are. But imagine being able to change people's lives all around the world, being able to have that passive income coming in. So when you wake up in the morning, a few people have bought your recording. Even now I've got a recording called Climbing the 5-2 Mountain. I've done nothing to promote it for ages. Honestly, it needs a proper website. It's tucked away somewhere. I can't even remember what the URL is for it. But you know what? I woke up the other morning and there's a sale for that that's come through. It's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. You wake up in the morning, something wonderful that you've done, that you've produced that's unique, is now benefiting somebody else. You're being remunerated for it. It heightens your own self-belief. It feeds into that perception of you as an expert, and it will just do wonders for your business. So do it. So thank you so much for joining me here today. I really wanted to share this with you so you know exactly how you can create products right the way across the board. Do it for all of these. Set yourself a target to do one of these, and then once you've done it, move on to the other. You'll be amazed at how easy it is. and how fun it is. If you have any questions, again, you can ask me on Facebook Messenger, and I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be seriously cool too. So thank you very much. I'm Rich, and I will speak to you tomorrow.